Welcome to Rusty Binge Face, where two friends binge watch seasons of TV shows and we talk about it. I'm Adam McCoy.
And I'm Amanda Kathleen. Adam and I work in TV. We watch a lot of TV. If we could repeat one day over and over again, it would be to binge TV.
You can watch so much TV.
It would be an endless amount of TV.
You don't forget anything. You can just watch over and over and over.
Yeah.
You can knock out like 1,000 episodes of Rusty Binge Face.
It would just be constantly.
In one day.
But then I feel like we would watch everything, and then we would have to start over again.
Well, then we just have to solve the riddle of how to get out of the loop, and then we could release them all.
Then we can watch newer TV.
New TV.
This week we are binging Russian Dolls, Season 1.
Because there's only one season.
Because it just came out by Amy Poehler and Natasha Lyonne and another lady.
Leslie Headland.
Which Adam's going to drop some knowledge on us now.
Yes. So Russian Doll, it's a comedy web, kind of a comedy web series.
Was it a comedy web series?
On Netflix. But the backstory is that Amy Poehler and Natasha Lyonne actually were working together to release a network show about 7 years ago. They started working on a show. And so they collaborated. They liked each other. So like, hey, we'll get a show. So they actually shot a pilot called Old Soul with Natasha in the lead. And not exactly the same show.
No.
She's this kind of wild child. She partied in her youth, and now she works as a caretaker for the elderly, and it's all about kind of finding herself. So that show never got picked up.
Oh, okay.
And after that happened, Amy Poehler was like, well, what show do we want to make? Like, if we had no restrictions from network execs telling us what to do.
Right.
So they kind of went back to the drawing board and settled on this story that we binge this week.
Oh, okay.
So it's had a big backstory, and a lot of it came from Natasha's, some of it from her personal life, and she had a lot more to do, I think, with the writing of this version than maybe what the original pilot was. So that was an interesting fact.
There's more of herself in it.
And this is Women's Month.
It is Women's Month.
And the whole gambit of people involved in this, a lot of women involved.
There's a lot of ladies.
So every episode was written by women. Directed by women, starred in by women, I guess.
Right, yeah.
But, very women-centric cast and crew, which is cool.
Super cool.
Super cool. So there's a group of men in the bodega.
In the first episode.
And throughout, who are kind of jerks. And
right.
There's a group of men who are at the computer programming, at the game.
Right. Where Natasha's character works.
A group of men who are in the ambulance with her. Well, those are all three of the same people.
That's fantastic.
in each one of those different scenes.
That's awesome.
So they look a little familiar. That's why, which I think is kind of funny.
Right.
When the show, when you watch the whole show. But I thought that was an interesting fact.
That's very interesting fact.
Yeah. After I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, I thought they looked familiar. Yeah, same guys. Maybe there's a theme there for some reason. It's like guys are dicks.
It's like using like animated voices, but in real life.
Yeah, we'll just use them again. No one's really paying attention to these people.
There's so bland white male. We'll just do it over again.
Nobody will know.
Nobody knows.
So I was super excited.
What were you super excited about?
Because the song that you hear over and over again.
Oh, right.
Gotta Get Up by Harry Nilsson from the album Nilsson Schmilsson. One of my favorite albums.
Really?
It is. I've had it for probably 25 years.
You've had an album for 25 years?
I've had this album for 25 years.
Wow.
Lime and the Coconut, if you've ever heard that song.
Yes.
He sings that. It's on this album.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Very versed. But, so that's the reset song that Natasha has in this show. But it wasn't the only song they considered. So apparently some other songs that were included in, the contest for a while were Not Tonight by Lil' Kim.
Okay.
Crazy Feeling by Lou Reed. And No Fun by The Stooges. I
kind of think like Lou Reed would have been cool. Although Lil' Kim, that could have been also very interesting.
I think it's a good dynamic with the upbeat kind of song.
I'm sure they tried all of them in the edit and they were like, this is the one we like.
The song itself is kind of melancholy, really, but the beat is not. So it's interesting. On a side note, I was reading some information, and apparently Natasha met the woman who played the psychiatrist or surrogate mother in this.
Oh, yeah.
At a Lou Reed memorial when they both spoke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how they met. And so
Natasha Lyonne spoke at a Lou Reed memorial.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
And so did, insert name here, of the actress who
plays her psychiatrist / guardian.
Yeah, guardian. So
that in itself is very interesting.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I thought it was fascinating.
That is very interesting. Thank you for dropping knowledge on us today,
You're
Adam.
welcome.
This is your spoiler warning. We are going to talk about Russian dolls now. If you haven't seen it, you can go see it.
It's a short binge.
It's a short binge. They're 30-minute episodes, 8 episodes. You could do it in what?
Like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just knock it out.
Knock it out.
Mm-hmm.
Early night. Watch it. Go to sleep.
That's right. Get up and watch it again.
On a weekday.
Get up the next day and do it all over again. And the next day do it all over again.
Of the show. Okay. Your spoiler warning is up right now. Okay. Overview of season 1, Russian Dolls. Basically, it's like Groundhog's Day, where Natasha Lyonne's character, Nadia, is at her 36th birthday party. Her friends are throwing her a birthday party.
Yes.
And basically, she's there and she's not very nice. Basically, like, they're throwing her this party and she, like, doesn't even give a shit.
Yeah.
So she leaves with some dude and she goes to this bodega and there's this drunk guy there.
Making a mess. Sloppy drunk.
And she was going to go help them, but the 3 guys Adam talked about earlier interrupted.
Being jerks.
Yes. So she leaves with the guy. They go back to her place. She has sex with him. She kicks him out. She, like, does some programming stuff on her computer because she's a software
engineer, game designer. Yeah.
And then this entire time, she's talking about how she lost her cat oatmeal. She can't find her cat oatmeal. So after she's done programming, she needs a cigarette. She doesn't have any. She goes back to the bodega and she sees oatmeal outside. She goes to get oatmeal.
Go get oatmeal.
And then, boom.
Slam.
Hit by a car.
Dead.
And then she ends up in the bathroom of her 36th birthday party all over again.
With a catchy song in her head. Yeah.
Every time she's back in the bathroom and that song plays.
That's the cute reset music, they call it.
That's the reset music. And every time she's in that bathroom. So she always starts off in the bathroom of her friend's apartment. And this is in New York City.
Important. Kind of a cast member in its own.
Right. So you just watch her, like, keep dying.
Yeah.
Like, keep going through, dying.
Keep freaking out.
She doesn't know what's happening. First, she thinks it's, like, some drug she took.
Yeah, some laced cigarette or some laced...
It was a marijuana joint with... Her friend said cocaine. Later, she finds out it's ketamine.
Yeah, just a little bit of that.
Just a little bit of ketamine.
Yeah.
So she thinks it's that. And then she's, like, having, like... I don't know, like a crisis. She doesn't even know what's going on. She's just, like, going with emotion at this point. And then she finds another dude that it's happening to him also.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So they see each other in an elevator. It's about ready to crash.
And she's like, hey, you're going to die. And he's like, I've already died. Like,
happens all the
10
time.
times. And she's like, me too.
So
and then they die.
Yeah. So then she tries to find him later. She ends up using her sleuthing skills. And
she's
finds
got
him.
pretty good sleuthing skills.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Finds him. Then they go into his backstory. He broke up with his girlfriend. He was going to propose that day, so he's reliving that day over and over again.
She keeps breaking up with him over and over again.
Yeah, which is an interesting dynamic. I think it's a cool...
It is.
Juxtaposition to what was happening to her. And so the rest of the show is them trying to figure out how they can change this or what's going on.
Right.
And he keeps thinking it's a theory that, hey, we're bad people. Maybe we need to change our lives.
Right.
Something happened to us. Or it's the way we act. We need to change the way we act and we can maybe survive.
Right.
So they go on this journey. You learn some more about him. And then it turns out at the root of this, he actually killed himself the very first day. That was how he killed him. That's how he died the very first day.
Right. So she got hit by the car and he killed himself at the very same time.
Oh, and he's the guy that was in the bodega.
And he was the guy in the bodega. So they
like,
find out that they were supposed to help each other. Mm-hmm. So as the episodes go on, people keep disappearing, animals keep disappearing.
Fruit is rotting. Something's a whack in the world. Something's not right.
Natasha, by the way, is very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Her character is very smart, Nadia. She figures out that they're stuck in a time. They're in like the third dimension or something. They're stuck between like
the fourth dimension.
Yeah, the fourth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
They're stuck between 2 different timelines or something, and they need to get back to
the original timeline.
How she figures this out, I do not know. Apparently, she's very smart.
It's an orange. She slices an orange. She's like, I got it.
I got it. I sliced this dead orange.
Yeah.
And
now
it's fresh in the middle.
Yeah.
So towards the end of the season, they go to relive that night, and like they just keep dying.
And it keeps getting worse and
it keeps
worse.
getting worse and
More
worse.
people disappear. Eventually, like the mirrors are all gone.
Right.
That ties into a whole story of Natasha herself. As a child, she had some issues with her mother. Her mother never lived past 36. That's why this was such a big birthday for her.
Right.
So it's like kind of her inner demons and personal journey she has to go through.
Right.
And face herself, essentially.
And then her partner, Alan, in this journey together, decides they need to go say their piece before they end up not being here anymore. So he goes to talk to his girlfriend who broke up with him, and she goes to talk to her guardian psychiatrist woman about her mother's death. And in doing so, they both fix the problem.
Yeah, in themselves, they kind of like become at peace with themselves.
Right.
And they go back to try to stop each other from dying the one last time.
Well, they think everything's okay. Basically, that day ends, and like they go back the next day, and like everything's back to normal. Like the party's obviously still going on.
Yes.
But there's people there now, and then there's a mirror and stuff like that. So
they're like, hey,
we
fixed.
fixed it.
Yeah.
And
We got to meet each other to make sure to celebrate.
So they go meet each other, and then they realize they're in two different timelines.
So Natasha's back, and she remembers everything. Goes back to the bodega, and Alan
doesn't remember.
He's drunk again.
He's
dropping pasta sauce.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh crap, he doesn't remember me. He's not gonna listen to what I say."
Right.
He goes back to his timeline.
The other timeline, Alan's trying to find
the douchebag.
Nadia, who's with the douchebag that he has to save her from.
So then it becomes this kind of interesting. Like, how would you explain this to somebody who doesn't have those shared experiences? How do you? No, seriously, I'm not crazy.
Right. We definitely were together in some time.
So spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
They save each other.
They do.
Yeah.
And they, I guess, go on. I don't think the day restarts again. I don't know. It just ends with them being together both timelines.
In both timelines.
Yeah,
so they're
just
walking.
hanging out.
Yeah. It's an interesting
they're
closing
BFFs
shot.
now.
They're walking, which I'm assuming is where season 2 is going to go. Because
I guess.
This was pitched as a 3-season deal. So I was like, I don't know where you're going to go from here.
I didn't know where they were going to go from anywhere. I was like, okay.
So I'm assuming there's going to be different things. Like they'll probably branch off next season.
Okay.
Where you'll see both timelines and different things will start changing.
Okay.
With each one of them. The closing shot of the last episode, they're walking in this group, and then the homeless guy who they've helped the whole time in his crazy parade of animals.
It's a crazy New York parade or something.
Yeah.
A crazy homeless New York parade.
You see a side-by-side shot of the back of Natasha's head, and essentially they cross paths.
Right.
So it's like they're
going on at the same time.
They're two different timelines.
Right.
So that's how it ends.
That's how it ends. It's a very straightforward show.
Yeah. This was the shortest wrap-up we've ever had.
I know.
Yeah.
It's pretty like wrapped up in a tiny bow, even though it's a little different than like say like Groundhog's Day. Like there's a little more other things to it.
Supernatural elements and other things associated with it.
Like in Groundhog's Day, like they don't ever question why the day is repeating. As in this one, they kind of like talk about like time and space and like
they go for
they go into like an in-depth thing.
Quantum
so it's
physics.
a little different.
Yeah.
Still same thing where they have to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little different. Kind of like Groundhog's Day meets Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
Only no one's trying to kill Nadia.
Yeah.
In the season.
That's a good comparison, I would say. Yeah, it's a good
It's like a little mix of both.
Bill Murray was great in Happy Death Day.
He should have made a cameo.
He should have.
As his Groundhog Day character. So what do you think about Russian Dolls, Adam?
I enjoyed it. There was definitely a difference in tone after episode 4 or 5.
It felt like it had to be, it felt more serious after that.
Definitely felt more serious. I liked her character a lot. And I heard her in an interview talk about her character, and she kind of based it like on a 70s New York Joe Pesci type of guy.
But like all of her characters are this.
Yes.
Like literally all of her characters are like an old New York Jewish man.
That's kind of her spirit animal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So that was
like
interesting.
Natasha was playing herself in this.
Yeah, pretty much.
In the show, like.
Yeah. That was interesting. It was funny to see her interactions with people.
Yeah.
And to see her go around. I did like the contrast between her life and how episode 4 started with Alan and his life.
And then you get to see his perspective.
His take on it. Because his thing was he was enjoying the redo. It was like, look, I can control this.
Right, yeah.
He
feels
I can change
safe.
what's happening.
Yeah.
She was actually the opposite. She was getting more and more distressed and kind of downward spiral.
It was nice to see like another person in this, whereas in Groundhog's Day it was just him.
Yeah, who you talk to about it? Yourself?
Yeah,
the groundhog.
Groundhog.
He did talk to the groundhog.
Yeah, but it's nice to see two people trying to figure out why they're dying, but really the show's mainly around Nadia.
Yeah, it's her character.
It's her character, even though Alan's there. And he's a good character also. And he kind of like starts the whole thing. I don't know. It just feels like it's more towards Nadia.
Well, she had a bigger thing to overcome.
Right.
She started seeing herself as a child, spitting up glass, spitting blood all over her. So
she was having like mental issues.
He was like, oh, I have to do this breakup the right way.
Right.
Okay, I fixed it.
It was definitely have like a sort of like a role reversal. Like Natasha's character was definitely like the leading man in the show. And then Alan was like the woman that comes in like halfway through like the movie, you know.
Be like, oh yeah, you're here too.
Oh yeah, I have another character.
Go do your thing, and then we're gonna talk about me now. So yeah,
I would say like it tries to go in depth on things, but it's very on the surface kind of.
Yeah, they can't get into it too much. It's only 8 half an hour episodes, right? Yeah.
But it was very light. Like it's very light. It's a comedy. It feels like Groundhog's Day, but they touch on like deeper stuff, like the timelines and like being in a fourth dimension. Like they say it, and I'm just like, one, how did you figure this out?
Yeah.
2, where does this go from here? Because you're not really explaining anything.
Yeah, you just kind of say it and then move on.
Right. Like we all know that Natasha's character is supposed to be smart. She's a very smart individual. Yeah. But how the fuck does one come up with this?
Yeah. It was pretty convenient. It was like, oh yeah, it's this. That was a little too convenient.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is different from Groundhog's Day. I know we keep comparing it to both, but they feel like the same, right? But like in Groundhog's Day, like they don't touch on that, but also he's not really looking to figure it out. Kind of like he's just he keeps reliving the day. He can't stand it anymore. He wants to kill himself. Can't do it.
Yeah.
And then at the end point, he's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy it. And then he fixes it on his own. Like he doesn't think about anything. He just lets everything evolve.
Happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was another interesting. I like the fact that unlike Groundhog Day, went on to another day. They could keep going until one of them died.
Yeah, which I enjoyed also.
I mean, it was definitely very intentionally, very parallel to a video game. So your
save,
your
save she says that at some point.
Is this point. So as long as you keep going, you're fine. Right. But when you die, we'll just come right back here.
Right.
It's like you have a second chance, a third, a 15th chance, however many chances that you had.
Right.
They just got to keep going.
Which, like, they bring up this game that she made that, like, is unwinnable.
It looked like it was a pretty cheesy game.
It was a cheesy game, but like they never touched back on it. They were just like, "Yeah, there's this unwinnable game." She's like, "I can win it," and then like we just don't. We just forget about this game.
I can. It was hard. What was I thinking? Must have to do with my mother somehow.
Like I don't understand. Like, don't bring up the game if you're not gonna finish it.
I thought they were gonna have to like beat the game.
Right.
Like, oh, maybe there's a secret in
here. Maybe it is a video game.
Yeah.
But I did like the aspects of like the world is dying around you.
And that nobody noticed.
And that nobody notices.
This is gross.
The reality just changes.
Mm-hmm. And the whole point about the mirrors, there were no mirrors anywhere. But people knew what a mirror was. She was like, "Where's the mirror in the bathroom?" Oh, there was never a mirror in here. But nobody had them at all.
Right.
It was like they ceased to exist.
Right.
But she still knew what the word meant and was like, "Oh no, I just didn't have one in there."
Right. Like it would have made more sense if she would have said, "What's a mirror?" You know.
And so again, like we'll move on to pet peeve, I guess. But her friend at the very end, who was in the apartment with nothing in the apartment,
right,
was just dancing.
Yeah, she was just dancing.
Like, why was she still there? And
well, maybe because like
nothing else was there.
That's the last shred of her memory or something, or like her friends is the last thing she's holding on to, possibly.
But douchebag was there with his kid and the girlfriend of Alan. They all survived.
I know.
So it was a little weird to me.
I don't know. I can't tell you anything. They don't explain it very well.
Maybe next season.
Maybe next season we'll get more in depth in it, but I did like the overall feel of the show. I enjoyed both of the characters. I liked both of them coming back. I liked the soundtrack throughout all of the episodes.
It was a really good soundtrack.
I guess I have a feeling that Natasha has something to do with the soundtrack since she was at Lou Reed's memorial.
Yeah. But Probably.
But the soundtrack was very good in all the episodes. Like, every episode ended with a great song. I was like, oh, yeah, this is great.
And they did. I mean, again, it was only essentially 4 hours of content, but
Right.
it really hooked you, especially
did.
towards the first 2 or 3, maybe not as much, but after that point, at the end of every episode,
Right.
like, well, I got to see what happens now.
Right.
Like, it really, got you hooked.
Well, like, and then they were so short, it was an easy binge. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, I definitely want to watch more. These aren't very long.
Mm-hmm.
And you just
not
kept
even
watching.
an intro. There's not even an intro for
There's
the show.
not even an intro.
At all.
Which I thoroughly like.
Mm-hmm.
They just go into it.
Just get to the point.
Here's the show. Oh, look, a title card. Great, move on.
That's all we need.
That's all we need.
Did you have any pet peeves in the show?
I think that's pretty much it. Other than the whole I'm smart.
The easy
I know
explained.
things about fourth dimensions and timelines, and we need to get out of this place by doing it over again. I also kind of thought it was very convenient that the only way to get out is to help each other.
Yeah.
Like, why them?
Well, and why were they linked so much that when one of them died, the other one died?
Right.
Which I thought was
they
interesting.
died at the same time, which
Like,
was interesting.
She was eating chicken and she just choked on the chicken. Like, you
Right.
think everything is fine, and then anything can kill you. But one thing that kind of annoyed me about her, I was curious about, for like 3 episodes, or not 3 episodes, 3 deaths,
Right.
she runs out of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I did explain it. I just realized it in my head. Runs out of the party, falls down the stairs.
Yeah.
But you figure the falling down the stairs is because he died some way. It was like some accident. Like
Right.
They die
Yeah,
individually.
yeah.
But that would have been so fast into the party, he would have just been brushing his teeth. Like, he fell in a shower once, they said. But it's not like they were out and about, and she fell on the stairs because he got hit by a car.
Right.
Or whatever. Like, that explains why she fell on the stairs so much.
Right.
If he happened to die.
Right.
And she had to die too at
Right.
that exact moment.
Yes.
But that early on in the day, how would they both just die?
I don't know.
It's a lot. That's a weird. Like, I liked how later on she choked on the chicken at one point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then he got hit by a air conditioner. Or they both got hit by the air conditioner, I guess, at the end.
Yeah.
Right?
It was kind of funny. Like there's this like short moment where they keep dying, and like they just kept coming back, and they would say how they died.
And yeah.
And it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because she would be like, gas leak. And he would be like,
Hit by a car.
hit by a car.
Yeah.
like that part's funny. There was definitely funny moments in it.
Yeah, and
like
it was definitely funnier in the first 2 or 3
Right,
episodes, and then
yeah.
it took a turn.
Like when it got serious.
The first time
yeah.
she started to see herself as a child,
Right.
I mean, it really took that kind of supernatural edge
Yeah.
a little more.
Mhm.
Not that the whole thing isn't supernatural because they're really living the same day, but
Right.
it got a little more intense, and you're kind of like, oh, that's interesting.
Right.
And when she coughed blood up on the girl, that was
Oh, yeah.
kind
That was crazy.
yeah.
I was like, what?
And the girl didn't even move. She's like, oh, blood on me now.
She was like, that's cool. I got you.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show. I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm interested in how they will tell the story.
Yeah.
What the difference
Because
is going to be.
I don't know. Maybe they'll
I
give us
learned
more
one thing.
scientific things.
White guys are evil. There wasn't a single white guy in this that was not a douchebag
That wasn't an
or
asshole.
a dick.
Well, that's not true. Her
Oh, I
boyfriend
take
was a nice.
that back.
He
Yeah.
was basically nice. He was
He was
just-
nice.
He liked her, and she was just like,
Because that was the one when she was trying to cope with it before she
Right.
was like really trying to solve. She felt for
Right.
him, and she was like, okay, I need to do
I need
better
to
by
fix
him.
this, yeah.
Maybe I am a bad person.
right.
Okay, so I reject my previous statement. But
was
most white
one,
guys are
yeah.
dicks.
Majority in this.
Yeah.
In this.
And you don't even have to cast different people. You can just cast the same 3.
Yeah, you don't even need because all white dudes look alike.
I thought the whole ambulance scene was weird. I mean, like the whole banter between. I guess she was going to the insane asylum. Essentially.
Right. They just
So
wanted to
were
find out like how crazy she was.
Yeah, and she wouldn't abide.
She's
by
trying to
what they
explain
were
it in the. She's not crazy. She just keeps dying,
saying.
which was interesting. It's a show, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I recommend giving it a shot, especially considering you're not invested that much in it.
Right.
You don't have to carve out a
No.
whole weekend or 12 hours of the day.
No,
Knock out an evening.
it's
of-
pretty
of
good.
television.
Natasha Lyonne's fantastic in
She was
it.
great in it.
Her Joe Pesci-esque Jewish woman
Yeah.
style speak. It's fantastic.
The homeless guy part was a little weird. That was interesting.
Yeah, and they never really explained the
wanted to
whole
cut her
reason why
hair.
the homeless guy's there. I thought maybe he had something to do with it.
Yeah. They didn't really go into that much.
No.
Unless he's the one instigating that all because he was at the end.
Well,
in
we
the parade.
don't know because it doesn't end like with something for us to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
So if he is involved,
We'll have to wait and
maybe
see.
next season. So on that note, favorite episodes.
Favorite episodes. I mean, they all kind of blend together.
I definitely
would
like
think
the first one.
the first one, yeah. I think I liked it because it seemed funnier, a little more
Right.
amusing, like the whole figuring it out,
Right.
like what's going on, like those crazy manholes and falling on the
Right.
stairs and taking down the fire escape was good. I did like maybe the second to last episode
I
when she
like,
did confront the
yeah,
child.
both the last two were
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
they were just a different tone.
Right.
But I would think what was most enjoyable was probably the first couple episodes were a little more fun.
Definitely the third one when she, like, towards the end when we find out there's another dude.
Yeah,
That was a good twist.
yeah, that was good.
And then, yeah, just like her and Alan. There's like little moments here and there.
I didn't like that they hooked up. That was weird. I think they could have done without that.
Yeah, I think it was kind of just saying like he's over the girl, like
Yeah.
like he's done with her now, so he just wants to move on and try to get out of this timeline.
And she's like, all right.
Well, I think that is like down for whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
She's keeping it real,
That's
man.
the only thing I was like, all right, well, I mean, okay, I guess.
It's pretty much the whole show. It's like, well, yeah, I guess. It was a good watch. It was good. It's fine.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining for sure, 100%.
I definitely think I would be more excited about how they go with the second season than even this first season's plot line. Like, how are you going to pull that off?
How does that
Especially
work?
if they do fulfill the 3 seasons.
Right.
Like, where are you going to go from there?
I don't know. Where do you go from there? So what do you think the bingeability is?
I mean, honestly, bingeability, I want to give it a high score because it's just so short and it's so
Right.
easy to binge.
Right.
I'm not saying it's like the best show in the world,
Right.
but I'm probably gonna give it a 4, between a 4.5 and 4, like a 4.25.
Dang, you are higher than me right now because I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 because it's an easy binge, but
I will say because this is the first one I've actually sat and binged the entire show at one time. So I'm like, well, it has to count for something.
it does.
Yeah,
Which is
so-
why I gave it a 4.
I'm going 4.25.
Okay.
Four, 4.25.
4.25. You're higher than me. That's crazy.
That's the first time that's ever happened. Hey, when you're busy, time
you're
has
busy.
a factor.
Did you have a question for me, Adam?
I do have a question.
Ooh.
I actually have a two-parter. I may only do one.
Two-parter.
Two-parter. If you could pick one of the shows that we have binged
Okay.
to relive a day in with a cast,
Ooh.
which show would it be? And which cast would it be?
Which show that we've
That we
binged
binged for the show.
for the show.
Yeah, Resting Binge Face.
resting binge face? Okay. Let's
You got
see.
some medieval stuff. You've got
I
some
know.
comedy stuff, some future stuff.
What am I gonna pick? This is a hard one. Good choice, Adam.
I'm not even going to throw which day because I think the show is enough.
The
Because you
show's
could get
enough,
into super
yeah.
picky, like, well, not this day on this show, but just in general.
I think I'm gonna say probably Future Man
Okay.
because I enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But 2, it would be fantastic just to hang out with those
It
guys.
would be fun, yeah.
I might end up dead, but it'd be worth it.
It would be fun. But you just relive it, so it doesn't
I
matter.
would just it'd be fine.
I want a similar vein, nothing too serious. It's Always Sunny.
It's always
I'd
sunny,
pick,
yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Which
hang out with Danny
it could end the
DeVito.
same way.
Yeah.
You could die,
I could die.
but you'd have fun
But
doing
yeah,
it.
you'd have a lot of fun doing it. I think that would be the one that I would choose.
That'd be the one.
You'd have a lot of stories.
A lot
There's
of
so
stories.
many directions you could go,
So many.
especially Future Man. You could just travel in time
Yeah.
over and over again
Over and over and over.
because you have enough fuel
Yeah.
to reset all the time. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a good one.
Okay.
I had a second part,
What?
which is a little different. If you could pick one celebrity to be stuck with in the same time loop.
Oh, no contest. Richard Madden
Which-
from
okay.
Bodyguard.
All right. So you would do that hoping you wouldn't wake up from the time loop, right? See, I would pick Neil deGrasse Tyson because I'm like, if anyone could figure it out, this guy's gonna figure out how to get out of this. He may have to cut an orange in half to show me
Right.
exactly what he's talking about. But
No, I just want to hang out with Richard
that's
Madden.
right. Yeah. All right. Two opposing
I just wanted to tell
Characters.
me Game of Thrones stories every day,
all the time.
all the time. So that was Dumb Amanda. That was a good one, though.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
It's always fun to
that's
think
a good
about.
one.
Yeah.
Well, for our running segment, it's our newest one. Who would win? So, who would win in, I guess, a time loop? I don't know if I want to say battle. Which time loop, I guess, would win? Would it be Groundhog Day's time loop or Russian Doll's time loop.
Okay, when is a relative term here. How are we talking when?
Okay, so
Which is
like
a better
I guess
idea?
which is the better time loop to be in? So
The better one to be in.
right, because you have New York now, hanging out at the party with the Russian dolls,
Yeah.
or you have Groundhog's Day
1996 or whatever year it was.
Pennsylvania
In the cold.
in the cold
Yeah.
in a little small town.
Well, I mean, I think on that factor, if you had to be the one in the time loop, you'd
Right.
have to go Russian dolls because you
Right.
could potentially
'Cause
go
you
a
could just
couple
hang out in
days.
New York, yeah.
Well, plus you could have more than one day.
Right.
Potentially.
Right.
I think a more interesting story
Would be Groundhog.
is Groundhog's Day.
Mm,
In the original version,
right.
Bill Murray is supposed to be in that time loop for like 1,000 years.
Oh, really?
That's why he knows.
That's why he wants to kill himself.
He
and
knows
everything.
everything about every single person in
Right.
that town, which is interesting.
It is interesting.
Now it doesn't have the whole, two people dynamic that the Russian doll has. But
Right.
I think it's kind of creepy and insane that it's 1,000 years
Well, also
every day.
like it's a small town, so like you can get away with things in a small town.
Yeah.
Like,
Plus the next day nobody remembers.
Nobody
you, so you
remembers.
do whatever you want.
yeah. I don't know. I'm torn. I feel like they both have the equal goodness, like equal parts in both of their time loops.
They do. I mean, small town is a little not as exciting.
They're both
as New
cold
York.
though. They're both in cold weather.
They are, and also though, things are disappearing in the Russian doll world.
You're right. I don't want to disappear, so
Like,
I guess I pick
everybody,
Groundhog Day.
you made us wake up one day and you're the only person left with a bunch of empty buildings.
Yes.
And not even oatmeal
Yeah.
to pet.
No.
So,
Maybe I'll go for Groundhog Day just because everyone's still there.
yeah, there you go.
I would rather be there for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm. And at least be around people
Be
and
around people.
food and things that
Right.
are there.
Than to be in New York for a little bit and have people like just leave me.
Yeah, wouldn't be so depressing.
Okay. I guess Groundhog Day wins.
Yeah, there we go.
Plus you get to see, the groundhog every day.
Groundhog. And Chris Elliott. Chris Elliott.
Oh.
That movie.
I can see Chris Elliott every
You get
day.
to see Chris Elliott every day.
I guess so.
I'll small talk with him. He's a funny guy.
He's funny.
And Bill Murray.
And Bill Murray.
Yeah,
Who doesn't want to hang out with Bill Murray every day?
yeah.
I guess we're leaning Groundhog Day. Sorry, Russian dolls.
Sorry.
You're a little too dark for us.
But you're second.
You're definitely,
You're definitely
second.
second in this
I
scenario.
definitely pick you over Happy Death Day.
That's right.
100%. So, Adam, why don't you tell us what we're watching next week for Women's Month?
For Women's Month continues next week
Mm-hmm.
with Killing Eve
Ooh.
in preparation for the second season. We're going to watch season
That's
1.
right. We're going to watch this award-winning BBC America show.
I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
I'm excited to see it.
Very
I've
excited.
heard a lot of good things about it.
It looks very interesting.
Will it take the highest spot on my bingeability?
I
Will
don't
it get the
know.
first 5 for me? We don't know.
I don't know. We should
Maybe.
also maybe at the end of the month figure out which is our favorite
Ooh, that's a good one.
women's-led show of the month.
Like a little March Madness.
Yeah.
Wrestling
Women's
binge
March
race
Madness. The only
edition.
March Madness I want to
That's
play.
the only one that matters.
Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. If you want to leave us some comments about Russian dolls or why
Or time loops.
or time loops, or if you can explain to us the scientific theories in Russian dolls, please do that. That'd be fantastic. If you can let us know why all that's happening,
You can use visual aids if you want.
that's fine. We just want to know. Inquiring minds need to know.
So Neil, if you're out there,
If you're out there, please leave a comment.
send us a comment. You tell us what you think. You are the one I picked to be with, so
Yeah.
help me out.
Help Adam out. Help your pick out.
That's right. Or leave us a comment for next month. Maybe what kind of stuff you want us to binge next month.
Yeah. We might have an open month next month.
Yeah.
Maybe audience choice.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Perfect strangers.
Please don't pick that. For the love of God, if you like me, do not pick Perfect Strangers.
Pick it.
Please, someone help me, please. We will see you bingers next week.
Bye.
Bye.